The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera, and by ShootProof, the easy way to proof and sell your photos online.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina as they chat about the art and business of photography.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 125. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host Trevor Curran. On last week's episode, we talked about Facebook rolling out status update editing, Twitter refocuses on photos, a full-frame ILC is soon to hit the market, and Adobe's corporate database gets hacked, exposing millions to the possibility of identity theft and credit card fraud. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at our website, digitalphotographycafe.com, in iTunes, listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, or Xbox Music apps, or watch in HD on TiVo.
Hey, Joe, we're back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing great. Hanging in there.
Absolutely. Another show number 125 of Digital Photography Cafe.
I know, it's a lot, man. We're getting up there.
Yeah. I'm still enjoying it. Just like episode 1, you know? It's like there's always something to talk about, you know, all the feedback from you guys. We love you guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we kind of all get wrapped up in our daily routine, you know, doing the 9 to 5 or 9 to, 7 at night or whatever it is. And, you know, sometimes you start disconnecting. You know, you start disconnecting, you start not watching the news, you start not paying attention to things. And this is always great because it's kind of a good excuse for us to keep in the loop, you know, to keep up to date on what's going on. So
absolutely. People ask me, like, when I go and I meet with people sometimes, like, how do you know that? How do you know this is coming out, like, day after it comes? It's because we're constantly super saturated in the market. You know, obviously, since we're press, we're continuously getting press releases on a regular basis. We're, talking with people that are in the major companies on a regular basis. So we're kind of getting, and some of the stuff that we know we can't tell you guys.
Yeah, we do get a lot of press announcements coming through that are kind of, NDA'd a little bit. Like, don't say anything about this until like, a week or two from now. And so we kind of get an update, a lot of stuff ahead of time, which is kind of cool. It's kind of nice being in the know. But so, and part of all the stuff coming through is that Nikon 610, right? We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and we were saying how it was rumored to basically be a replacement for the D600, right? And the sensor problems that they had with that and all. And well, now it's finally announced and it's out, and that's basically what it is. Yeah,
it's official, as they say, So, 610 guys compared to the 600, the major difference, obviously, is, everyone had such a big problem with the sensor and oil and dust getting on it and this whole thing. And they were, you guys are constantly sending it back for repairs. And this all gets fixed in the 610 version of the 600. And, they put a couple, let's just say that's the major thing. This is more of an upgrade to a problem. Let's say they kind of fixed an issue, and they that's basically it. Everything else pretty much stays the same. You got 24.3 megapixels, the usual standard ISO, just like any other DSLR out there. 39 points of autofocus. We love that. That's
that's great.
Is so important.
Yep.
1080p. You got the video, dual memory sticks you can put into it. I like that. I like the whole idea of dual because it just reminds me of the pro. It's just pro level. Cameras always had dual. That's just the way it is. You could use it for the extra memory, or you can use the dual slot as a double write type of thing. Just depends on how you set it up. I like that a lot. I think that's fantastic. So HDMI out, uncompressed video recording it does via HDMI. That's always cool. Wireless flash control, blah, 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 blah. All of the stuff that we talked about in previous week, it all is confirmed pretty much as of now.
Right. Yeah. And then I guess this new quick continuous shoot mode, I guess that's kind of like one of the new features in this camera, right?
Quick continuous shoot. Continuous shoot. So what exactly is that, anyways?
I know. I mean, it's kind of a little obscure what it is. I mean, you know, I'm guessing it's some form of technology that allows you to either slow the shutter down so it's not making that constant clack, 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 clacking noise.
Right.
You know, which in that case will obviously affect your exposure. So maybe this continuous shoot mode is only good for, you know, certain situations. Not exactly what sure. I guess it's some form of technology though that they've implemented that that, you know, helps to quiet the whole shutter down.
Right. So, you know, we talked about this like on a couple of shows ago where you have the wedding photographer that's right behind you know, the officiant or the priest or the pastor, and you know that's all you hear is clack, 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 like over and over, like motoring. And you know how loud these cameras are. So now they have this quote unquote quiet mode. Yeah, just like you said, I'm not sure how they do it. I'm not sure if it's actually, because I'm noticing that they're slowing. You know, the FPS, the frames per second, is going from 6 down to 3. So either they're slowing it down, you know, but by doing that, I don't see how that would work, because now all of a sudden you're going to be messing with exposure and stuff, and you can end up with shake. So that might not be it. You know, maybe they're doing something whereas they're keeping the shutter open, and they're doing shots like that, capturing images as they're coming through. That's a possibility.
Yeah, more like a live view type.
That's
of mode.
right, just like a live view on a Canon. That's probably more or less how they're doing it. But either way, a quiet mode of anything is a good mode to have.
That's
when
right.
you're doing, you know, any type of event where, you know, the scene is quiet, you know, and you're behind the scenes and you're clacking away, and, you know, that's worse than flash half the time. So yeah, so that's really cool. I mean, that's, you know, and of course they also, from the 600 to the 610, they supposedly improved white balance. That's always nice. You know, for me, I would tell you guys, if you're shooting anything and you're worth your weight of, you know, weight in salt, you just get a gray card. If you don't have a gray card, go buy one. They're cheap. Yeah. Shoot the, you know, shoot that card before you shoot the scene, and then as you move to a different location, shoot another card. And then basically once you go into, you know, aperture, if you go into Lightroom, you can just simply just click on that card and then just highlight an entire, you know, barrage, a whole array of 50 photographs, and just white balance right across the whole lot. Right. Instead of having to do it frame by frame. So yeah, but it's cool, you know, getting it. I always like the idea of getting it right in camera and not having to do it in post, because what that does is it gives you the latitude to push or pull one way or another to get the perfect shot. Too many times people are shooting, they're doing a scene and it's extremely yellow, and they're shooting it and the photos are coming in yellow. They're like, oh yeah, I can balance it after. Well, that's fine, but you're at one end of the spectrum. To get back to the other side of the spectrum is very difficult. Yeah,
and you have to do a lot of adjustment to
balance
it out at that point.
You're losing a lot of color. And people just don't get that. So if you can shoot a scene and get it close in camera, that gives you that baseline in the center, and it gives you the ability to move left or move right from that base. If you shoot it and you're all the way to the left and you're trying to go all the way to the right, trust me, you're not going to get as good of a shot. So anyway, so that's cool. The 610 is an improvement. It's definitely, you know, worth it. The 600 is like 1,800. 610 is like 1,900 or something, $2,000. So it's not that big of a difference as far as cost, right?
Right. Yeah, which would lead me to believe that they're probably going to discontinue the 610.
Yeah, kind of like Apple with the 5 to the 5S. We won't talk about that. Yeah.
So, you know, we always talk about, you know, if you're going to invest that money in camera equipment, maybe you don't invest in every iteration of the body, but you invest more in glass. Right. And whether you're in the Nikon, the Canon, the Sony, whatever camp you're in, good quality glass is good quality glass, and as long as you stay within that body manufacturer line, you're going to be able to use this glass for years to come. Yeah. And we always drool over Zeiss glass, right? Yeah, I mean, that stuff is primo. It's beautiful stuff. Yeah. And they've just come out with this new lens. It's going to be part of a bigger line of lenses called the Otus, and it's a 55mm f1.4. This baby is sweet.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be out of the price range for most people, I'm sure, but this is nice.
This whole line is going to start of 1.4s that they're going to be releasing, which is great. You know, Zeiss is just, it's beautiful, beautiful optics, period. It's German architecture, you know, German ingenuity, German engineering. It's just great. It just comes out. The photos that you shoot with glass, the Zeiss glass is slightly different than what you'd get from, you know, a Canon manufacturer, or Nikon, or so on and so forth. So, you know, Zeiss is great. Glass is for a lifetime. You know, the bodies come and go, like, you know, they're disposable, but glass, like we're talking about, is there forever. And Zeiss is kind of nice because, you know, you can get, for major manufacturers, like for example, a Nikon or a Canon, let's say, you can buy Zeiss glass for either one of those. Yep. So, you know, for example, if you buy a 50mm Canon, let's say 1.4, it's going to cost you X. Well, the Zeiss equivalent to that for your body is going to probably be about $100 or $200 more, sometimes $300 or whatever. If you can afford that couple of $100 more, get the Zeiss glass. Because I tell you what, if you want to do video, or if you want to, you know, or even just stills, you will notice a difference between that Zeiss glass and the major manufacturer glass. There is a definite difference, and you are paying for it. It's not free, right?
No. I mean, yeah, a few hundred or even more additional. But yes, this is true high-end professional glass. I mean, this is the quality stuff. I mean, this new line of lenses, they're metal bodies, metal hoods. Basically, Zeiss kind of, you know, went to the engineers and they said, we just want you to build the best lens you can. And kind of took all that marketing requirements, price points, weight, all that type of stuff, kind of just threw it out the window and said, just build the best lens you can. Right. And that's what this is. And supposedly this is their best, highest quality lens on the market today.
You know, they took it out of the playbook for medium format lenses, where medium format lenses are in different caliber altogether because it's this big and not this big, you know? It's big glass. It's a lot of fine work to get that optic right. But anyway, so yeah, these lenses, even though they're going to be for full frame cameras, are on, you know, the same level as a medium format equivalent. So yeah.
Right. Well, that's it. I mean, these full frame DSLRs are coming with higher and higher and higher resolution all the time. I mean, Nikon with the 36 megapixel, and in the near future, we're going to be looking 40, 50 megapixels in full frame DSLRs. And in order for that sensor to capture the image, you know, that's comparable to the quality of the lens, you need high quality glass.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you know, years ago, it was like, the sensors could not keep up with the glass. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do, the glass was so much better than what the sensors could capture. It just didn't matter. You know, you know, the weakest link was the sensor. At this point, we're getting to an area of time, or a period of time, where the sensor is so good, or good enough, that it exceeds the possibilities of what these pieces of glass can, you know, produce. So more and more people, I think, are going to start looking into these Zeiss type of glass, and we're going to see, as those sensors get bigger and bigger, larger and higher resolution, we're going to see that lens cost is going to slowly creep up. It's not going to go down, because the amount of machinery and the amount of machining and architecture that goes into making that larger glass or better glass is going to cost more, period. That's it. They're not going to be able to just, you know, get away with, you know, whatever, just okay lenses. It's just not going to, it's not.
And it's a precision of the glass itself too. I mean, it's very, very high quality, you know, glass that is just, you know, it really is on a whole other level. So yeah, if anybody out there has some Zeiss glass that you've had experience with it, or decide that you're going to opt for one of these new Otus lenses, let us know. It's not in my future.
Right.
So I may not get my hands on one. I don't know, Joe, maybe you'll cough up some coin for one of these bad
I mean, just an example, you know, when we shoot, some high-end medium format cameras, most of the time the glass that we shoot with, let's say a 90mm or 100mm lens, the glass itself just for the single lens is about $8,000.
Yeah.
But most people will listen to that and they'll be like, what are you talking about? That's just how much it is, you know? Cheap glass, you know, for some of these cameras, you know, like a Hassi or something, it is like $6,000, you know, $5,000. So we're used to buying glass for $500. The thing is it's just not going to cut it any longer as these, as the megapixels get, higher and higher and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, but anyways, we'll see what happens with that. So now we have what? Pentax, the K3.
Yeah,
the beast.
Rico.
The beast.
Yeah. This new APS-C sensor camera that they just announced. Again, one of these rumored cameras for a while, but they officially made the announcement the other day. And yeah, I mean, again, looks pretty sweet. We're looking at a 24.4 megapixel APS-C CMOS sensor. So nice big sensor, not full frame, but still good size sensor. Lots of megapixels there, right?
Oh yeah, lots of megapixels, a lot of megapixels. The thing that really interests me with this is it has built-in, let's say shake control. But what's kind of cool is that many of the mirrorless cameras now are dropping the AA filters, right, Trev? They're getting rid of them so that they can, but of course, when they do, they have to worry about moiré, and then they have other things to fix moiré and blah, blah, blah. But, the point of the matter is here they are doing away with that AA sensor, right? I mean, the AA filter, the anti-alias filter. But what they're doing is they're fixing the aliasing in the camera after the shot, like through the processing, based on basically jittering or jarring the sensor at capture or something like this, some type of weird architecture, some type of weird mechanism of doing it. And I thought that was really, really interesting. They're just, Pentax has always had like, people are like, oh, what camera do I buy? Do I buy a Nikon or the Sony or the Canon? Right. And it's like, look at some of these other cameras, because some of these cameras are coming up and they're doing things differently, and they have the ability to experiment. Whereas the major lines like a Canon or a Nikon, they have to just make more of the same. They have to kind of iterate, and because they can't make a mistake, because it'll be a multi-million-dollar disaster if they screw up. Whereas, a Pentax or a Sony or Olympus, let's say, they can kind of do this cool stuff and try it out on us,
Right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you go from a Canon, let's say 5D Mark II to a 5D Mark III, you have certain expectations, and they can't, go crazy with a camera like that and have it be a complete flop, because some new technology that they're working on just doesn't cut it. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to. That will kill their product line for 2 years. I mean, yes, they're releasing other cameras and stuff, but that meets a certain niche market, and they can't afford a flop. But you're right. I mean, with Pentax Rico, with Sony, Olympus, with their DSLRs, their market share is smaller, and they can experiment with some of this new technology to try and gain market ground based on this technology. Right. And if it does get acceptance, and if it's proven that it works in the field, they can incorporate that into other future products. And then what happens is you see the other manufacturers simulating this technology and putting it into their bodies. Yeah,
this is, and reading about it, I mean, there's a lot of folks commentating on it, saying this is, unparalleled technology, blah, 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 blah. And just by saying that, obviously, Pentax, they're the Rico, they're doing something in the back end to make it unparalleled, to do something different, and to change things up, and somehow become a leader in comparison to a follower, and grab some of that market share. I tell you what, you look at, and these cameras, they're not plastic cameras. I mean, they're like stainless steel and stainless steel and magnesium. It's not junk, and the lenses are all metal lenses, and I mean, it's decent, it's good stuff. So it's something to look at. People always, they what camera should I buy? I'm just getting into the market. And you'll find that many photographers will be like, oh, Canon, Nikon, Canon. And it's like, well, I kind of want to tell you guys,
don't discount the other manufacturers.
Don't discount the other ones, because if they have something that you could use or that you really, really like, you might want to go down that road. You don't have to have, the major two all the time. That's not necessary. It's not, it's not the way it used to be.
That's right.
So things are definitely changing.
Yes. Check it out, people. Let us know what you think.
Pentax K3. So anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick break to hear from a couple of our sponsors.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer, and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener. As photographers, we're always trying to increase sales and profits after every event.
We shoot an event and have hundreds or even thousands of images that just sit on our hard drives.
Perhaps a better workflow would increase sales by getting those valuable images in front of the client.
That's where ShootProof comes in. At shootproof.com, you can have an online gallery for all of your clients' proofing needs.
ShootProof helps increase profits while building your brand and securing your photos without charging commission fees on sales.
ShootProof galleries display your photos beautifully while helping to streamline your workflow and automate more of your business through their intuitive studio control panel.
Once approved, photos can be directly fulfilled through ShootProof's various professional lab partners or fulfilled by you.
All ShootProof plans have the same feature set. You simply choose the number of client photos stored, decide what products to sell, and the price.
Try ShootProof today by taking advantage of their free 30-day trial offer.
As a Digital Photography Cafe viewer, ShootProof is offering a 20% discount off any of their premium plans by using promo code DPC20 at checkout.
ShootProof. Upload, share, sell, print. All right, so we're back, and Photo Plus Expo is right around the corner, just like another couple weeks away, bud.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. You know, I was just in there. I had a little geek fest the other day. I went in for Comic-Con. New York City Comic-Con. I mean, that's just like the place to be. And bro, that was nuts.
Yeah, I bet. Right. So did you dress up?
I did not dress up. This is my first Comic-Con.
What the hell kind of geek are you? You're supposed to dress up. It's Comic-Con. Who didn't dress up?
Well, actually, the majority of the people there were not dressed. But there were a lot of really cool, you know, handmade costumes. There were a lot of store-bought ones and stuff, but the handmade ones are really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and man, this show is huge. They sold out the Javits Convention Center for 4 days. That is nuts. I mean, when we go there for Photo Plus, we're utilizing like maybe half of that upstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
They had the entire upstairs of this building from one wall to the other, from front to back. This thing was massive. And then they had the whole lower level. Like they have, the convention center has a whole lower level that they'll set up for doing seminars and
the seminar area.
Like that. This was all opened. It was, no walls were there. All the walls are mobile. This was all open, and it was set up for doing autographing. They had autographing tables down there. Lines of hundreds and hundreds of people lined up to get autographs from these celebrities and stuff. It was crazy.
Really cool.
It was definitely an experience I'd highly recommend if anybody can get around to one of these Comic-Cons and you're kind of a geek. Definitely do it. It's a lot of fun.
I you know what? I mean, maybe next year I'll slip on my tights, and you know, we'll head to Comic. I think it just
put your underwear on over your tights.
Put my underwear my Fruit of Dooms, and yeah, I mean, it'd just be cool. I've seen some really crazy stuff, and yeah, when you see them fabricate, you know, do like just fiberglass like fabrications of chest plates and swords and all kinds of stuff. It's like, wow, these people put a lot of time and effort into these costumes. They have prizes that they're giving away every single day.
Costume contests,
just huge. It's just really, really interesting. And if you're any bit of a geek, this is a place to it's the geek fest for sure.
There was a kid there. He was a character out of the Silent Hill video game. Oh. And I've never played the game. I don't really know much about it. I've heard other people talking about it. And he had like this homemade costume, is like this big triangle-shaped head. And he was walking around on drywall stilts.
Oh, my God.
So he was like 2 feet up in the air on stilts, plus his height. So he's standing like 8 feet tall. and then he puts his head on, you know. Thank God for high ceilings in that place, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it was so cool. You see him walking down the aisles, and he's like way up there. He's got this huge, like, broadsword looking thing that he made. I mean, it was just massive. It looked like a huge knife, and it was really neat. A lot of fun.
Yeah, see, that's great. That's really, really cool. I wonder how many thousand people
they were talking about getting over 100,000 people in there.
God. I mean, Photo Plus is like what?
Photo Plus 20? Gets like 24,000 over the 4 days.
Lord.
These guys are doing 4 times the amount. Crazy.
That is a lot. Talking about a moneymaker, huh?
Moneymaker. Yeah. $45 a ticket, man.
Yeah.
That's for a 1-day pass. It's not cheap.
That's awesome. So, and you know, people are buying too. Anything that people are selling, they're buying.
Yeah. There's a lot of money exchanging hands in that place. But
yeah.
So we're going to be at the Jacob Javits Convention Center in New York City for Photo Plus Expo on Thursday, October 24th. And Friday, October 25th, we're going to be cutting out on Saturday, the 26th. I don't know if we'll make it back down there in the morning or not.
Right.
But, you know, we're getting a lot of press releases from people. There's going to be a lot of new products announced. It looks like it's going to be a really good show, of course. It usually is. A lot of seminars going on, a ton of seminars. If you guys are planning on going, we would like to meet up with you. We've had a couple people contact us over the last few weeks. Saying that they're going to be there. So we're going to, you know, email them or contact them back. Sure. And we're going to try and set something up. You know, it'd be great if we could get some people together and hang out, right?
Yeah, it'd be great. You know, if we don't meet up at the show itself, at the show proper, you know, maybe we can go for a pint or something after.
Yeah.
Have a beer,
grab some dinner or something.
Dinner, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really looking for a huge group of people. It'd be nice just to connect with, you know, a smaller group of people and really, you know, kind of do that networking thing, you know, talk shop, have fun. Connect with some of our listeners and just kind of shoot it for a little while and hang out and enjoy New York City, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm excited. I can't wait to get on the plane and get out of Florida for a little bit. So, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll definitely be cool.
Definitely.
So, yeah, we look forward to seeing you people over there. So, yeah. Definitely shoot us an email or send us a tweet or something and let us know, you know, if you're going to be there. And, you know, maybe we'll kind of grab your cells or something and text you guys or something to let you know where we're going to be and what time and whatnot. So, anyways, kind of moving forward, you have something kind of interesting finally in the making that is finally ready.
Yeah, I do. Quite a few shows ago, I had kind of alluded to something that I was working on, and you know, you never want to talk before it's time, you know, because then expectations build, and if you don't deliver, then it's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, so you gave birth.
Yeah. So, you know, as many of you know, I am a professional graphic designer and website developer. That's what I do for a living. That's how I make the majority of my income. The show and, you know, currentphotographer.com, you know, these are outlets. They're channels that I use to communicate with the photo community, and, you know, connect and network with, and that's how I've picked up a lot of business over the years. You know, it's worked out really great. So what we've been working on is creating a product for photographers. We've, you know, being in the photo industry since like 2009, you know, that's a passion. It's an area that I really care about. And being in the web development and graphic design industry for over 23 years, I mean, I've seen a lot of websites over the years. You know, I know, Joe, you've seen a lot. I mean, we get emails and come across things all the time, and we go check out people's websites, and some of them are really great, beautiful photography, well laid out, really, you know, they work well, and some just kind of miss the mark.
Right.
You know, they don't really come across well. The photography's hidden, or it's not presented in a way that's a great user experience for your potential customers. And worst of all are those Flash websites. We know that the Flash templates that everybody used to use in the past, while they look great on the desktop. I mean, they showed your photos nice and big and all that stuff. I mean, they look great. In today's times, they just don't work because of mobile compatibility.
Right.
You know, iOS devices will not display Flash websites, and the Android and Windows phones sometimes will, but if the Flash is too intense, it just craps out. It just won't do it. It can't, it can't handle the processing of it. So
yeah, we always say just stay away from Flash.
Stay away from Flash. And one of the big selling points of Flash websites was always the autoplay music, right?
Yeah.
And
we love that. Yes.
We definitely frown upon the autoplay music, you know. So, but with that being said, there weren't really many options out there. You know, you had a couple of the, you know, the web-based solutions, you know, the web services out there that would provide site builders, let's say. Then you had the option of using some form of a template and going in and trying to edit yourself, or having to hire a developer like myself and spend thousands of dollars for a custom website.
Right.
You know, in today's times, you know, right, Joe, the money is just not flowing the way it used to.
That's exactly right.
You know? It's a lot harder. So, you know, what we wanted to do was actually create a service that will help photographers build beautiful websites that have great functionality and are mobile friendly and help you get found in the search engines. You know, being mobile friendly and that localized searching market is critical. You know, Joe, I actually did a speaking thing not too long ago, and one of the things that we talked about was the amount of search that's happening from mobile devices. And 97% of all smartphone users have their phones within an arm's reach 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's one of the one of the stats.
Absolutely.
And I know you're that way, I'm that way.
Sure.
You know, and a majority of the searching that's happening from mobile devices are happening from home or at work where they have access to desktop computers. Yeah. But they're doing it because it's convenient, because they've got it right next to them. So what we did is we're in the process of putting the final touches on a new service that's called WP Portfolios. We're prepping now for beta testing, and this will allow you to come into our system and actually use WordPress as the content management system, basically as the structure, as the programming language that runs your website. And then through the use of our hand-selected premium themes and plugins, you'll be able to design a really beautiful website all on your own. You'll have all these great functionality things that you can add to the site, galleries and all kinds of email contact forms. You can really hone it in to your own needs. It's very, very flexible.
As WP calls them, widgets, right?
That's right. Yep. You add widgets to the different portions of the template. So, I mean, it really gives you a lot of flexibility. And what you'll benefit from using our system is our email support. You know, we've spent a long time in the industry. We know a lot about WordPress development. We know a lot about using themes and plugins and how to add different functionality that you need, as well as integrating with third-party fulfillment services, you know, photo fulfillment services where you get your prints and your products and such. We also are going to have a great knowledge database so when these questions come in, we'll answer them and put the FAQs in the database. Forums will probably come into play at some point. We're going to plan for that now. Forums are always a lot of work. I mean, as you know, anybody that's been involved with it, right? We also provide video training on how to use WordPress. So if you've never used WordPress and you're a little unsure about it, you're hesitant to try and take on a challenge, it's very user friendly. You know, once the development of the site is done, the maintenance of it you can do yourself. You don't need a developer. That is really one of the huge values of WordPress, is you can go in there, edit the pages yourself, create your own blog posts, upload files, share galleries of images. You can do it all yourself. And the video training will actually show you how to do it all. The other big advantage is that we do what's called managed hosting. We actually take care of all the WordPress core updates, the content management system updates. We take care of all the plugin updates, all the theme updates. We also monitor for security. We've got major security put in place to prevent hackings. But should there be something that happens because, you know, as we've said in the past, anything can happen. We also do backups. We have a lot of backups put in place so that way we can fix your website, repair it, get it back up and running should it ever get hacked or corrupt or something like that. All of these things you would have to do yourself if you were using a managed, a self-hosted WordPress website. And with a lot of other web hosts, even if you're using a Flash template or an HTML template or something, you have to take care of a lot of these tasks yourself.
Right.
You know, honestly, it just takes too much time away from your business to have to worry about the technology of your website. You know, you don't have the time to do that. You want to focus on your business. So what we're encouraging people to do is to head over to wpportfolios.com. There'll be a video on the site that talks a little bit more about the service and what we're offering. And right now we're, you know, getting signups to be beta testers. We're not live with the service yet. We're looking to bring people in to test the service, to see how it works, to see how it flows, work out all the kinks and bugs, get your feedback. And there's no cost or obligation to you. You can come in and do it and play with it for a little while and then get rid of it if it's not something that you want. And if it is something that you want and you'd like to stay on board with, we'll definitely have a really great offer for you once we go live. So check it out, wpportfolios.com. There'll be a form there. Just drop your name and email address in it, and we'll add you to our list.
Sounds exciting. Finally. I love it. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, all right, Trev, listen, another week has come and gone. We need to get out of here.
Yes, we do. So if people want to connect with you outside of the show, Joe, how is the best way for them to reach you?
The best way would be through Twitter. That's at Joseph Christina, and that's Christina without an H.
Yes, and you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Current.
So, all right, everyone, we are done for another week. You can get all of the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/125. And don't forget to send your questions and comments to comments@digitalphotographycafe.com or simply call 440-345-6707. Once again, that's 440-345-6707, and we will see you next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe Show with Trevor Current and Joseph Christina. Be sure to subscribe to the show for free in iTunes or through RSS. You can also listen on Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and watch in HD on TiVo. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.